Hello and welcome back to Big Brand Energy. Today is a very exciting day because this is the first episode of a 3-part series that's social media for business owners. This is going to rock your world if you want to stand out online. So this is for the coach, the creator, the freelancer, just anyone basically who wants to build an online presence in order to get sales, in order to get more customers, in order to build that base for you to have a successful business. This is for you. I would suggest listening to all of these parts, so there's going to be 3 parts, binging them and getting a clear idea of exactly what I'm saying in every single avenue in which way I'm going to say it, and then coming back when you're sitting in front of your computer or on your phone thinking, shit, I need to post something and it's not hitting. You can always circle back to these episodes and think, what did she say when to do this, right? So these episodes are going to be really direct, really potent, really straight to the point, because the idea is that you will listen and then you will immediately go and integrate it and implement it into your world. And then you get to start this, actually like sort of seeing the benefit of social media. So these people who are thinking, everyone keeps saying how powerful social media is for business and it hasn't quite landed, it hasn't quite been your reality yet. This is going to help you actually get those results and actually see why it's worth putting time into social media. In the spirit of keeping things direct, keeping things straight to the point, I'm going to dive straight in. And this is actually going to be the number one tool that you need in order to have that big brand energy with your posts. But before I dive in, before I go straight in with that, the formula, I'm going to just explain to you why it is important to have big brand energy. Like, no matter who you are, what's the big deal? Why should someone have a big brand energy? Why is it not enough for me to just set up my business, sell, serve, that's it? And I'll tell you why. So basically, big brand energy is what gains attention, what makes you stand out online, which is crucial for people who want to be pulling more people into your world. So the people who already know about you, they already know about you. They might be buying from you. They might not be. But if you want to scale, grow, and make maximum impact with whatever it is you're doing, you need to have a part of what you're doing that actually extends to the future, that's going to pull more people into your world. So to put it simply, big brand energy, it gains attention, right? It makes you stand out, because what you'll find by listening to these 3 parts is when you have big brand energy, you're actually sort of saying something to someone as opposed to just showing up and doing what you do, okay? The other part of big brand energy that I want to point out to you is that big brand energy, it drives preference, which is what you want in this business world, right? So it's fair enough if people know what you do, but how many people are you preferred by? Like, how many people prefer to use you over whoever does exactly what you do down the street? What preference does is it drives hardcore fans, and what hardcore fans do is they buy from you and they don't question your price. They re-enter your world with new offers without any question. There's that loyalty, right? So when people prefer you, everything in terms of what you sell and what you do becomes quite effortless, right? So you're not driving every single time, like slamming your head against a wall, like, I need to sell this. It becomes this flowy feeling. So that's why you want to listen. This is why you want to cultivate this big brand energy, because you get those 2 things. Okay, so now to the tool, the switch that you need to make. So for everyone out there who is referring to their social media strategy as that, or marketing strategy using that terminology, I just want you to can that. No longer refer to it as a marketing strategy, and instead replace marketing with impact. So every single time you're showing up online, every single time you're crafting a post, every single time you're planning an episode on your podcast, you're thinking, how is this going to impact the person who's watching, listening, seeing, whatever it is, rather than how am I going to market myself? Do you feel that difference already? Do you understand how that might feel from a consumer's point of view? So when you're scrolling the feed, or when you are listening to a podcast and someone's saying, hey, I've got this offer, this is what I'm doing, blah, 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 me. It's sort of like, you might, if you love them, you might listen along, but you're kind of like, it dies quite quickly, as opposed to when you're speaking from a place of, wow, this is influencing me. This is like, this has stimulated me. I'm having some thoughts. Wow, I feel quite creative. I'm inspired. When you're in that energy as a consumer, you want more of it. So it basically gives you more attention time with the person who is interacting with you when you switch it in that way. To think about it from a macro level, there are so many positive shifts that happen from just like that mindset shift. But on the micro, the things you're avoiding are you wouldn't, when you're thinking about impact and impact on the person, the one person who's seeing this, you're thinking more so, okay, well, I wouldn't go ahead and post 30% off flash sale on my service, product, or offer, right? That's not really a grid post. That's not really going to impact that person. Another thing you might not do, or a shift you might make on a micro level when you're thinking like this, is instead of posting a screenshot or text about a testimonial you've gotten from a client or previous customer, because that's really showing you, that's just, hey, look at what I do. You might instead post a video of your customer using your product in a unique way in order for the other person to maybe see how they might benefit from using that product or that service or that thing, whatever you're selling, in that way. So automatically you're serving the person who's watching as opposed to your own interests. I'm going to really hone in on this. So I'm going to give you another example. So another shift that you might notice would be, instead of palming your social media off to your niece, your best friend's sister, I don't know, anyone who wants to do it, whatever, like deal you've negotiated with some poor uni student to just post on your social media, instead of doing that, which is just a tick off thing, you're marketing yourself, you might invest in, or maybe not invest, collaborate with creators who know what they're doing in order to get your message across in a better way, in a more engaging way. When you are posting from a place of, hey, how's this going to impact the person who's consuming it? You're not going to fuck around with, it's no longer going to feel like an admin tick off situation. This basically cuts out all of the fluff. It cuts out the filler posts. It cuts out those how-to carousels that we've seen on a million different accounts. That's no longer in your realm. Instead, you're going to be having to do a little bit more work on like, okay, what's required here? What do I want to say? I really want you guys to really understand what I'm trying to say here is like, how many times have you heard or said the term, my industry is too saturated, or the algorithm is fucked, that's why no one's engaging with my posts? Actually, no. Your posts just suck. And I say that with love because they're actually really easy to not suck when you use this framework I'm going to give you, okay? So first of all, I want you to ask yourself, for as long as, you can blame the lack of engagement on a bad algorithm or your industry being too saturated, what else do you get to do or not do? Do you get to no longer take responsibility for the fact that you're not putting enough thought or intention into building an audience online? Do you get to sort of broadcast this as an excuse to your friends and family of like, this is why I'm not doing so well in business. This is why I'm not where I once said I wanted to be. Does that get to be true too? Do you get to sleep easy at night remaining ignorant to all the work that you haven't done for yourself because, it's not your fault. The algorithm sucks. All of those narratives get to be true when we blame something outside of ourselves. So that's what I first need you to just acknowledge. You get to gain something by all of those excuses being true. And as soon as you step out of it, your whole fucking world, your whole social media strategy, impact strategy, I should say, gets to be easy because you just get to do the work and it gets to work. But no strategy works unless you do. That's what you've got to remember. So it might sound harsh, but this is a necessary mindset shift if you want to create big brand energy. And that's what I want for all of you to do. I want you to stand out online. I want you to reach business success. I want you to be a creator full time if that's what you want to do. And this is what you need to be accountable for before you go into the next few steps. So before you can have impact as a brand, you need to have substance. What does your brand actually stand for? I'm going to break this down really simply. So put simply, and this is the truth, a brand is just a series of opinions. That's all it is. It's actually not complicated. The substance required to make maximum impact with your posts is just people paying for your opinion. Everywhere we go in business, in anything, we are actually paying people for their opinion. You walk down to the local cafe, you're paying that barista for his opinion of what coffee he believes is best. You go to a naturopath, you're paying her for her opinion on what she thinks will heal your gut, fix your hormones, correct your libido, whatever it may be. That's what you're actually paying for. So once you realize that, being scared of sharing your opinion online becomes so counterproductive to business success because people actually want to pay you for your opinion. So when you're hiding away, not showing what your opinion is, it makes it really difficult for people to make a decision to invest with you. How can you expect people to invest in what your way is if they don't know what it is, if they actually don't know what you believe? Better yet, how can you expect people to invest in what your way is when you don't know what your way is? So this notion of creating substance is a behind the scenes job. Once you acknowledge and you recognize, okay, this is what my substance is, this is what my opinion of this is, presenting it in an impactful way is where you get to play. That's what I'm going to talk about in the next part of this series. And you really need to tune into that one because it's all about how you can basically actually do the thing. Before you go and listen to that, if you found this helpful, please follow the podcast and send it to a friend that you think might benefit from having, a straight down the line approach to their social media. Maybe they're in business. Maybe they've decided to start a side hustle. I want you to send this podcast to them if you think that it will be helpful. Until then, I will see you in the next part of this series. I cannot wait for you to recognize how easy it is to create content with Big Brand Energy. Thanks so much.